Hi everyone, it's Ray here from Man City Fan TV. Today I'm going to talk about CFG, the City Football Group. It was back in 2008 that Sheikh Mansour bought Manchester City, invested heavily in the infrastructure like the academy and the stadium, in the players. Within a few years we'd won the Premier League. But behind the scenes he also had other plans, you could argue for world domination, but he had this idea of sister clubs in various countries around the world. And to this end, in 2013 the City Football Group was formed. Now I'm going to have to read this because it's a statement they had at the time. It's the ambition to increase football participation on and off the field, to find and develop the best footballing talent, and to deliver an exciting and forward playing game. You could argue that's just corporate speak, but let's see what's actually happened in the last 5 years then. Well, currently City Football Group, they wholly own two clubs. We own New York City FC, who play in the MLS. They're currently managed by Patrick Vieira. He was a player for City for right at the end of his career, before taking over at the academy, and now he's over at New York, and he's doing very well. I think he oversaw them rise from 17th in the league to 4th and 2nd. We also own Melbourne City FC, and they've done quite well recently. I think the last 2 or 3 seasons they finished 4th and 2nd. We also partly own, or we've invested in, a few other clubs around the world. So we have Yokohama Mariners in Japan, Club Atletico Torque, who are based in Uruguay, and Girona FC in Spain's La Liga. We've also got a very strong link with a club in Holland called NEC Breda, where we send 5 young academy players to help improve their game, in effect. And we do the same with Girona. We send them 5 academy players as well, and the idea is that sending these players there helps to bridge the gap between academy football and first team football, because it's a huge, massive chasm really, going from a 17, 18, 19-year-old playing academy football against kids really, to be playing in the Premier League or in a major league around the world. We send these players there to develop, and hopefully they'll come back, or if they don't come back to City, we can sell them and make some money on the deal as well. Having this network of sister clubs allows City to move players around between the clubs, so to speak. For instance, when Frank Lampard left Chelsea, he signed with New York City FC, but before he actually played for them, he spent 12 months on loan at Manchester City. David Villa, who was also signed by New York City, but he played half a dozen games or so for Melbourne City in Australia. And we have the case of Aaron Moy, who City bought from Melbourne City for £1.5 or £2 million. They loaned him out to Huddersfield, who played in the Championship in England. Huddersfield got promoted. They wanted to keep Aaron Moy. He wanted to stay with them, and Manchester City ended up selling him to them for £10 or £12 million. And actually we made such a profit on that deal, it covered the purchase price of Melbourne City in the first place. What of the future for the City Football Group? Well, they're still interested in buying more clubs. There's rumours still that they want to buy clubs in China, in India, two massive markets with huge potential, huge populations, and growing economies, and growing football economies too, and other clubs in South America, Africa, and other areas around the world. And I can see them carrying on doing this until the powers that be turn around and say, sorry, you can't do this anymore, it's unfair, you get an unfair advantage. And we've already had clubs and in fact the league president in Spain complaining about City's structure, saying they're hiding the losses, moving losses around between clubs within the group, and they're not happy. So I can see the powers that be at some point buckling under this pressure from these other clubs and leagues, and saying you can't do it anymore. But until that happens, I can see us carrying on and getting stronger and stronger and stronger.